Hi, this is Colorful Foresight where we intuitively connect from within. And it's woo woo time where we connect our woo woo into our mundane living. Hi, this is Sylvia Colorful Foresight. We have PD from the Tower Lounge. Please
Hey,
subscribe and like her. But we're going to do a little mini, it's woo woo even for me.
woo woo.
Woo! I was saying, you don't have to be spiritual to be woo woo. I feel pretty woo woo right now. So it could be, it mean many things. Like sometimes, people like, yeah, I experience woo woo all the time. It's nothing new. They get jaded. I'm like, I don't care how many woo woo. It's still woo. It's still like, wow, from the littlest thing to like, sometimes it's just the mundane way.
Yeah.
You like them very fantastical. So obviously the fantastical, it will be more of a woo. But I would think after a while, if you get a lot of those fantastical woo, you
Mhm.
might get used to it. But we're not quite there yet. It's not like
Turn into a whoop whoop.
woo, woo.
That's when it gets real fantastical. Is whoop whoop.
And you know what's really, after being like in a metaphysical like 30 plus years, I kind of got jaded with the spiritual community. I'm like, yeah. But what I'm finding lately is that a lot of what we've been hearing metaphysical are starting to actually come to place. Like the idea of ET, like the idea of witnessing the divine being more in the physical.
Yeah.
And also recognizing in our mundane life how the miracle and the mystical are happening anyway. It's just that we acknowledge it or we kind of dismiss it or people don't talk about it. What was your story you wanted to share
Oh
today?
my gosh. So you say to me, you say, okay, do you have an experience you can share for, my woo woo show? And I said, oh boy, do I. I live woo woo every day. Woo woo is constantly around me. But I think it was 2 years ago or so. And my cat was ill and he had to be put to sleep that day. I was extremely upset. And I emailed Mark Spirit Whisperer and I said to him, I said, oh gosh, Mark, I said, I'm so upset. I said, I kind of had been working with Pan, the same spirit guide that Mark works with a little bit, and kind of getting to know Pan a little bit. I think that different spirit guides. I think that everybody's open, to working with any spirit guide, as long as it's something that we want to do. And so and there, I responded. Pan responded well to me, so I said, oh, please, I said, please send me some good vibes tonight. I said, I'm just really down in the dumps. I said, and please send Pan, tell Pan to, access the gold. Mark will talk about accessing the golden energy. I said, I tell him to get me some of that good golden energy. It just makes you feel real good. And sometimes you'll see when he does his readings, he'll kind of send out the golden energy to different animals that need it at times and whatnot. So I had to take the cat in and I had to have him put to sleep. And I was really depressed after it, but it went well. And I knew it was the right thing to do. So I said, let's go to Peoria. I said, which is, the town over from me. I said, let's go out to eat. And, nothing woo woo had happened really at that point, but it was about to get real woo woo. So we're driving back home, my husband and and I see in the middle of the road an injured hawk. And it was just sitting so peacefully in the middle of the road. And I said, pull the car over. And he's like, oh, dear Lord. I could just tell he's thinking, oh, she's going to go get this hawk and she's going to put this hawk in the car and it's going to be a whole mess and we're all going to get shredded to ribbons today.
Well, that's what happened when you marry into a mistress.
Right? And so he pulled over the car. And so it was just like I was in a trance. I got out of that car. I took a towel. I picked that hawk up. That hawk was just like, it was like shocked, I think. So it just let me pick it right up. It was a young hawk. And so I was able to take it to the vets to get, it had a thing around its leg So I was able to take it to the vets. It had a broken wing. And so I don't know if you've ever seen a hawk up close, but they're huge. They're huge and they're just beautiful. And it was just one of these experiences that I felt like I was almost like out of body during the whole thing. And so, holding this hawk, and this hawk, me taking it to the vet wrapped in the towel so it could get care. It ended up that they were able to fix its wing because it was hit by a car and it got stunned. And he was able to be re-released again. And so they gave me a picture of him. There he is. That's Chester.
Yeah, put it all the way in front of the screen. All the way, all the way, all the way. Oh my God.
I don't know.
There we go. Wow.
Yeah. So that's Chester. They named him Chester. And I just felt like it was really just Pan working with me and sending that through. It was a sign. It was a giant sign to me that I felt like everything was okay after that. I also felt really good because even though I had to put the cat down, I felt this overwhelming feeling of peacefulness because I was able to help save another animal. And it was such a majestic animal on top of it. And usually, like, you just don't play around with hawks. Like, I don't by any means. Like, this is just me being nuts. But it worked. And, I was able to help him and save him. And it was a really neat experience. And it was really fulfilling experience. It just kind of everything came full circle for me there.
Yeah, I'm going to say because you just experienced a death of your cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were mourning.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it unique. And also you had all the feeling around it. Otherwise, it's just another animal. Even though you would have try to help it. But it was very unusually calm. You said you felt the energy around it. That's what makes it woo-woo.
Yeah.
Somebody be like, no, it's just the timing of everything. Like you said, you felt a full circle around that.
Yeah, it was really a really peaceful feeling in the midst of a sad moment in my life. And it kind of was just teaching me about the circle of life. And I know that sounds really, cliche and everything, but it was just kind of in the tragedy of it. It was sort of beautiful in a way, because it turned out beautiful, being able to save the other animal and just see that come around and, feel all those feelings all at once. It's like, oh, I'm over here on Woo Woo Island. So,
you know what I got from it listening to you? First of all, I've been like you lately, where there's a point to cliche. Like, I'll be like, oh, it sounds cliche, but they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
Another one is that it probably still continue to mourn, but you probably mourn less because of that message you got about the cycle of life.
It helped me through it.
And it wasn't a concept, because a lot of times we hear all the woo-woo stuff or spiritual things and it's all a concept. Until you experience that moment, then you got to experience it and understand that concept.
Yeah.
This is the other way around. So you got to understand about that cycle of life thing in a experiential way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think that's a really good point. And, pointing out just, seeing the miracles in every day, because, one thing that I always did ever since I was little is I'd kind of get up and I would thank the universe for small things. Like, I'd be like, thank you for the dirt, and thank you for the flowers, and thank you for the trees, and thank you that I'm able to walk and be healthy and have vision. And because when I started to do that, I was like, man, I really have a lot of things. Like, I would still be so much more appreciative of my life instead of focusing on I don't have this today and I don't have that today. And that is a miracle in itself. Looking at things on the positive side and looking at things, that's a gift. It's not everybody doesn't have that. So the people that do have it, you guys are just like so refreshing to be around. It feels good to be around people that think that way.